riding in the back seat of my mom's VW to go to downtown Cleveland. I loved going downtown. It was always so exciting. We lived in a suburban area, but I always wanted to be downtown. That's where the big public library was, the museums, the shops, the tall buildings. That's where I wanted to be. On the drive, we'd always pass through East Cleveland. The contrast was striking.
It was like the moon now, nothing but minerals.
In the 80s, East Cleveland was almost like a wasteland.
Buildings had collapsed. Their wood had been consumed and their stones had crashed down.
Empty houses, empty lots, and what wasn't empty was neglected. I remember there was this one playground that we always passed. I'd beg my mom to stop so that I could play on the swings. My mom said it was too dangerous. I don't know if that was really true, but she watched the local news. Every night they reported about a robbery, murder, or a fire, and it was always in East Cleveland. Why didn't more people live there? I remember asking my mom why we didn't live there. That question was uncomfortable. Eventually she said, "It's the schools. We wanted a good school for you and your brother." I wondered why anyone would have schools that weren't good. I remember passing that same playground again one day. By then I had learned to stop asking my mom if we could stop there. One of the 3 swings on the swing set was gone. Slowly, one by one, all of the swings disappeared, until there was nothing left but the rusting metal frame. One day I saw that a few of the swings had been replaced. "Look, Mom, they fixed the swings," I said. Probably just the residents who did that. I looked closer and I could see it was true. The new swings were the kind you might get at Home Depot, the kind my friends had in their backyards. Not the kind of sturdy swings you'd expect in a public park. You could tell someone wanted to make things better. But a lot of the work and the paint jobs and the buildings, the little gardens, seemed amateurish. Just not what I thought public parks should be. Sometimes you have to take things into your own hands, my mom said. And I tried to picture myself repairing the swing sets in our suburban public park with parts from Home Depot. I knew intuitively that that simply wouldn't happen. Those suburban parks were the responsibility of the suburb. They were built to suburban standards. East Cleveland had public spaces that were like a vast, whimsical backyard. As time passed, I think that my mom became less fearful of East Cleveland. Once we stopped at a block that had been converted into an enormous vegetable garden. You could get lost in the cornfield that they planted. We were there for some kind of harvest barbecue, and one of my most happy Cleveland memories is sitting in that field, eating fresh corn on the cob and gazing at the Terminal Tower and all of those downtown skyscrapers. How did this happen? Why didn't East Cleveland make any sense? As a teenager, I developed a new obsession, taking photos of graffiti. Graffiti was like those Home Depot swings to me. It was like that field of corn. But places don't just happen, they are created. And to me, graffiti was trying to recreate a sense of place. So I kept taking photos. When I showed the photos to my friends, even if they thought that graffiti was kind of cool, I could never be sure that they were seeing what I was seeing. Yeah. And in high school, we had a joke about the local news. Every night, it's an animal, a robbery, and a fire. But I kept thinking about those fires. I didn't find them funny. The fires explained the huge number of empty lots, to some degree. As a kid, I wondered why the fires never happened where I lived. Why were all of the fires in the same place? Back then, there was a reoccurring segment on the local news. They would always run it, and it had a formula. A sobbing family on the sidewalk, their smoke-stained belongings all around them. They'd always talk to the mother, and she'd talk about how scared she was. how they had to get out of there, how they had nowhere to go. When I went back to Cleveland for the holidays, not long ago, I saw that playground again. The Home Depot swings were gone, the cornfield was gone, and even more of the houses had been torn down. In the Bronx where I live, it used to be empty like that.
It was like the moon, nothing but moons. Buildings had collapsed. Their wood had been consumed and...
It's not like that now. The people are back, it's lively. Empty lots bustle with new construction. In some places it's gentrification, and others it's just infill development. People keep coming to New York City. It's growing, it's full. I never made a painting that quite captured what I saw in these inner cities. People would like my paintings, but I worried they just saw a kind of poverty or disaster porn. How could I let them know that I was sincere? There's still graffiti in New York City today, but it's not always the same. It's popular in Brooklyn neighborhoods with high rents. It self-consciously adorns post boxes and lamp posts, proclaiming authenticity in a mostly hollow way for me. Both the South Bronx and East Cleveland are home to residents who are deeply house-proud, who care about their neighborhoods. But Cleveland just has fewer people, and it has more swing sets to repair, and a whole lot less help to do any of those tasks. And both places, like all places that are poor, urban, black, and brown, are judged by outsiders who don't really know us. People who can't see what I see, no matter how well I paint the picture.